on Twitter, I revealed that some of the older people in my family who voted for Donald Trump don't have 401ks or pensions or stock portfolios. In fact, they don't have any retirement at all. They live solely on their Social Security checks. And I was talking about this on Twitter because I was trying to make a point that there have been decades of bad policies that have been perpetuated by both parties. But Democrats often like to blame this solely on Republicans when they have been just as complicit and just as involved in the destruction and the hollowing out of manufacturing all across this country, especially in the heartland, especially in the state that I come from, which is Missouri. And so I was trying to make the point that, a lot of people who had their lives ruined when Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, and who, when Jimmy Carter deregulated the trucking industry and had 400,000 truckers laid off, and when Obama told people working in factories, sorry, your jobs just aren't going to be coming back anymore. Like, that's just the way it is. I was trying to make this point, like, don't expect us to weep for your stock portfolios when you weren't there for us when we lost our American dream. I was just shocked by the responses I got. People saying things like, your family's inbred, lazy, stupid. How did your family get so retarded? Just being absolutely malicious and spiteful, saying that they were financially illiterate, and also just in complete denial about the fact that the bottom 47% of 65 to 69-year-old adults in this country have no retirement whatsoever. They are just going to have to rely on Social Security alone. And these responses were coming 90% of the time from Democrats, from liberals. So it just shows me how in the bubble they are, that they don't even realize that this is the reality for so many people. And they were disgusting. I mean, if this whole tariff situation has revealed anything to me, it's a gigantic class rift that we have in this country, and just people that fundamentally don't understand the lives of people, especially working class people, especially those from the middle of the country, and how their lives have been destroyed. Thank God President Trump won in November. Thank God.
Two years ago, a courageous woman from Missouri decided to break away from the cult. 2 years ago, Evan Barker decided to stand on principle against those who have no principles. She stood against the people who have no principles whatsoever except power. Power. That's all that these people care about. Everything that they talk about, everything that the left is about these days is all about power. Never about doing the right thing for people. Never about actually doing things that work. Everything about the left, everything about the machine state is about acquiring as much power, centralizing it, and boxing out you, the middle class, the working class, those of you who seek to do more with your lives than be a serf. And Evan Barker realized that these people, these Ivy Leaguers, these rich donors, these white liberals, the insane leftists that she worked with at one point, some of whom have been giving her a bag of shit even now. These people simply pretend to be good people. They pretend to be good. And tonight, we're going to celebrate this insanely courageous woman who earlier this year decided to write a book about her experiences and everything that she went through. And it's going to be a grand honor to have her on the show with us momentarily. Greetings, good evening, happy Friday to all of you. This is Apostate Radio, episode 64. Of course, you know who I am. I am ILC, Isaiah L. Carter, coming to you from the suburbs, which are ideally yours, from New Rochelle, New York. Nino Sabio will be joining us momentarily, as will Evan. And I see Paul, a good friend of mine, he says Democrats have somehow gotten worse in the past 2 years. Yes. I was, just so you know, this is the book here, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing Left. Confessions of a Democratic Operative. I got my copy of this a few weeks ago. And we're going to be asking questions of Evan a little bit later. In the top left-hand corner of your screen is a QR code. You can scan it. It'll take you to where you can purchase Evan's book. That is going to be on the screen the whole entire night. Okay, the whole entire time while we're on air. But yeah, but before I get into all of this, right? Before I get into all of the things that we are going to talk about today, I just want to tell everybody, I just want to give a quick word about Rumble Premium. You've probably noticed Rumble isn't slowing down. More creators, more content, and a platform that's actually putting users and free speech first. And if you're watching here regularly, there's a way to upgrade your entire experience. For those of you who are watching on Rumble right now, Rumble is running a limited time summer sale on Rumble Premium, and it's the lowest price they've ever offered. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you actually came for. Plus, you unlock exclusive content from top creators like Steven Crowder, Dr. Disrespect, special live events, and more you won't see anywhere else. Here's the deal. Normally, Rumble Premium is $99 a year. But during this summer sale, you can lock it in for just $69 a year for life. Not just 1 year. Every year you stay subscribed, you keep that $69 rate. No promo code, no extra steps. Just go to rumblepremium.com and the summer sale price is already applied. That's rumble.com/premium to lock in the lowest price Rumble's ever offered. Ad-free, exclusive content, and a price that never goes back up, but only if you grab it before the summer sale ends. Shout to Rumble for being the bastion of free speech that they have become, and I especially want to thank Rumble for something else that's going to be happening. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. I also want to do a quick. Also want to say a quick word about Paul says I bought it the first week of release. The book, yes. And Paul also says Kamala would be a right winger today, bro. She would. But obviously, like that would require her to not drink. Kamala's a fucking lush. All right, she'd be under like Kamala could drink most people under the table. Nobody would stand a fucking chance, bro. I know I certainly wouldn't. I would not. Not even in the least. Ladies and gentlemen, also I want to talk about Rumble Wallet. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people actually miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today, everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stable coins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Rumble Wallet is actually pretty cool. It was going through that a little bit today. And it's very actually pretty good. Really, really happy. Paul is going to, Democrats nominated a fucking Al-Qaeda accomplice in New Jersey. Yeah. And then this Syed guy in Michigan. Piece of shit. That guy's a real piece of shit. Real piece of work. They would never have done that even in 24. No, you're right. You're right. They wouldn't have done this at all. Not at all. Oh, hold on one second. Hey, hon. It's in the WhatsApp. Okay, man. Sorry about that. Just trying to get some things together for the show. Evan will be on momentarily. I'm really excited to have her on with us. I really am. Trump and Paul, bro. Trump's reelection broke Democrats' brains for good. Dude, you have no idea. The Democrat Party machine and even the progressive machine, there are two, and we'll discuss some of that with Evan a little bit later. But what you have to understand is that you are more correct than you could have than you could even possibly think of. The Democrats are, for all intents and purposes, their minds are gone. And I'm going to show a couple of examples, but then there are some right now who are trying to pretend like they're not broken brained at the moment. AOC is one of them. I do want to talk about that with Evan. All right, everybody's in. Everybody's here. Come on up here, you know. Yes. Yes. Hold on. We
got a very special guest today, huh?
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so excited to have her here. Oh wait. No. I actually, well, hold on. Tell me if you can hear this.
Yeah. Air horn. The fucking air raid siren, what do they call it? Yeah.
Listen, the Queen is here. The Queen is in the building.
Yeah.
Our dear friend, the author of Nothing Left.
The New York Times best-selling author.
New York Times bestseller. Our girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys.
Oh, snap.
I gotta get my Zen.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey.
We were talking. We had after many rounds of negotiating and talking with Evan's publicist, we finally were able to land an interview.
Did you talk to my publicist?
Oh, I've been on back and forth for the last 4 months trying to.
Oh yeah, me. Yeah. Hey.
Girl, I'm so happy.
It's been a long time, right? Hey, you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to be here. You're so sweet. Definitely I get a little bashful, I guess you should say. So but yes, made the New York Times bestseller list. So
ooh, man. Is this our first New York Times bestseller, Isaiah?
I believe so.
I think it is.
No way.
Maybe we had one other person, but I don't
What
think
about James?
I can't.
James?
I don't know if James. Did you think James? Actually, maybe James was on the bestseller list.
James? No, I don't think James Lindsay's on.
No,
I don't
think he's too edgy. James Lindsay's a little too edgy.
He might be. I don't know.
Well, I think there's been a vibe shift maybe over the last year. I don't want to comment on it too much, but I'm grateful that I made it. So yeah. That's all I'll say. I'm grateful.
I bet you your book's pretty popular secretly in a lot of progressive and Democrat corners.
Oh my God, you guys. I've gotten so many messages the last few weeks from just so many Democrats that are in the party, people that I like kind of even worked with on different campaigns, just telling me, wait. No, he didn't make the bestseller. Okay. I had to look it up. I had to know. But I thank you, James, for all your promotion, by the way. He's been like promoting the hell out of my book. So thank you.
James Lindsay is the man. Yes.
Yeah.
James Lindsay is, and matter of fact, they're going after him. They've been going after him the last couple of Jesus.
I don't want to get in that drama. That's not my drama to get in. But
no,
I'll stick to drama on the left, you guys. But yeah.
He'll be all right. James will be all right.
Yeah,
James a big boy. He can handle it.
He's
yeah. So I don't know, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so many people have messaged me. Like, you guys, almost every day I've gotten 1 to 2 messages, 3 messages a day from different operatives, some that are gone, most that are still in it. A few have been like, I'm trying to get out. I don't know how to get out. This is the only job I've ever had. They really do.
It's like hell, man. You can't get out of there.
They hate men so much.
Yes,
you know?
we're gonna talk about that.
I've had some women of color message me that have like apologized for like, because they've seen not for what they did to me. They didn't do anything to me, but just apologizing on behalf of other women of color that I've encountered.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's nice.
They're like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've seen it happen to other people and it's so awful. And like we really need to change. Otherwise, like, yeah, so this is going to keep happening, and we're going to keep pissing people off, and they're going to leave just like you, and cross enemy lines the way that I did too.
Well,
So,
when an entire political machine and like I was said earlier, when two political machines decide they've had enough of representing the middle class, they don't come from the middle class. And I'm going to talk to you about an excerpt of that of your book where you talk about that a little bit. They don't come from it. They don't understand the middle class. They actually have like a deep resentment of people who work for a living.
Yeah.
Yep, indeed.
And so when someone who, and chapter 3 was really big for me because like,
it's my favorite chapter.
Yeah, I mean,
it's actually my favorite chapter. It's not the most explosive, but it's my favorite. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is, reading chapter 3, you were giving an understanding of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And the background that you come from. You come from that middle class background that's very, and also you came from poverty. Like as you mentioned in the book, there were spells where there were
times of great financial insecurity and precarity. Yes. Not always, but sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you weren't like set on your feet at times.
No.
It was almost like the people you worked with, especially your first job here in New York, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like they all like people kind of looked down on you.
They
did.
Down
their nose at you. Like, what was that like?
I mean, yeah, I would go to these parties. This is the first point of disillusionment, really, with the Democratic Party, and it was with the establishment side. She was an establishment politician. We call her Karen for legal reasons. And, she was just this, I call her a pussy hat wearing housewife, very out of touch.
Yeah.
I had a rich husband that was bankrolling her run for Congress, didn't really want to talk about the issues, didn't really know anything about the issues, in my opinion. And her daughter was like working in Democratic politics, and they had 3 homes and neither of them really worked. And I was like, what do they do for a living? And the campaign manager was like, oh, he's a magician. Well, he actually worked for Lehman Brothers, so I guess he helped make people's houses disappear. Yeah, I play a sound effect for that one. So yeah, and I would go to these parties in Jersey, and they would ask me where I was from, and I'd say Kansas, and they'd be like, "Oh, you don't look like someone who's from Kansas," and they'd be saying it kind of backhandedly. I guess they expected me to have like a hayseed sticking out of my head.
Yeah, what are you supposed to be wearing? Like overalls or something?
Overalls, a blue dress,
patches on your knees,
with red slippers that I clicked together.
With a stick with a bag at the end of it, or
yeah.
Like a freaking...
I don't know. And then they would ask me where I went to school, and I'd be like, oh, University of Kansas. And I was proud. I was a first-generation college student. Neither of my parents went to college. And
you're a Jayhawk?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Jayhawk for life. Sorry, not sorry. Basketball team. We started basketball in Lawrence, Kansas. But yeah.
Really? You guys have started? You guys
lived to the
James birthplace?
Naismith. James
Oh,
Naismith.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know Friday was from there.
Yeah, we have
Very
like
cool.
a whole statue dedicated to him, and I think they named some of the sports stuff there after him. I'm not a big sports person, but I like the Jayhawks basketball for sure. I always root for them.
Strong program.
Yeah. Oh my God, Lawrence was so much fun when I was there, and they made it to the final 2 in 2012. You guys, it was a wild week. It was so much fun. They canceled classes. It was crazy.
I bet. Yeah.
I was at the bar every day, all day, all night. I wasn't kind of checked out in politics actually during this time. But Yeah, and so they just with their faces would flush with disappointment, and they were like, "Oh, like you didn't go to Cornell, you didn't go to Princeton," and I just really hated them. And that was kind of, I think people have talked about this book and they're like, "Oh, this book's about democratic politics. It's about being disillusioned from democratic politics, but it's also about social class." I think every page of the book is like animated by class, really.
Yeah.
I remember, Evan, you said about that they were pissed oftentimes because they said their kids should have your job.
Oh, yeah.
I think is what you said.
That's how it works.
How entitled.
That's how it works in dem politics. Often the children of donors and party operatives and NGO leaders and people like that, they are the ones running the show.
It's a big Nepo baby culture.
It's big Nepo baby, big trust fund
Hollywood,
socialism.
Democrat,
It was just like, oh my God, unbearable at times for me, honestly. And I start the book with the Night Obama one, and probably people that are watching don't like Obama or whatever. I really liked Obama, especially like the first, few years. And his campaign, the culture was just very different. It was more colorblind, class-based, people of all backgrounds hanging together. And there wasn't as much of this, to me, where I was working, I didn't notice as much snobbery. I mean, sure, some of it existed. I remember there was a donor kid that I didn't really get along with on that campaign. But the majority of the time, it was very different. And I kept getting disappointed by the campaigns that I would encounter after that, because they were so different than that one. And I think the Democratic Party really lost its way after that election. I think even by 2012, it was different.
I would say so. I mean, because I'll be honest, as somebody who also supported Obama back then, I could tell that there was a decidedly angrier edge to that second term. There was an angrier edge. I mean, think about the things that took place in that second term, like the whole Trayvon Martin thing. That's when they really started ramping up.
That's right. A lot of BLM stuff.
Sexual harassment, the sexual harassment stuff on college campuses was really.
Me
Remember
too.
that? That was
and then the
really
gender stuff.
Beginnings of the Me Too era.
Yeah.
And so
Mattress Girl. Remember Mattress Girl?
No, what was that?
You don't remember her?
No.
So I can't remember the college. I can't remember the university.
Duke? Was it Duke?
No, but the Duke. But I don't know if the Duke University was pre-Obama or post-Obama. Okay. But no, there was this girl who walked around the college campus. Oh, it was NYU. That was NYU. That was it. She's right. Thanks,
Ronald.
Yeah, thank you, Ronald. Yeah, like she would walk around the college campus with like a twin size mattress on her back. And
like she's Jesus or something, or dying for the sons of men.
Stations of the mattress.
I mean, I don't know, but I think
she draw attention to sexual assault on campus or something.
I think so, right?
Like her own. I think it was like her own sexual assault. Like she had gotten alleged to have, but she basically wanted people to just flat out believe her, and that was
performance art therapy or something.
Basically, yeah. I mean, but the point is, there was that angrier edge in that second term with because I remember from the racial end of it, and we'll talk about the whole race class narrative thing you mentioned in your book. That was a fantastic chapter, by the way.
Thank you.
But with Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown and all these other ones, Ron mentioned Gamergate. There was so much. It was like the second term of Obama was almost hand built to stir up all the racial
cultural tension. Yeah.
It's like we elected a black president not once but twice, and were quickly repaid for it by stoking more flames of racism and hatred and white supremacy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you noticed that back then.
I think, I was a little checked out during those years, to be honest. I was in college and having fun watching the Jayhawks. But going to Guided by Voices concerts on Friday nights and stuff like that. But I do think that now, looking at it now, I see what you're saying, and I remember many of those things, but I think it might have been a reflection of the Democratic Party kind of giving up on actually doing the change part of Obama's presidency and their promise, and instead just focusing on culture stuff. Because I think that's kind of like why Bernie was able to come to rise in 2016, you guys, and Donald Trump, is because not a lot really changed. I did get the ability to get healthcare, but beyond that, and I write this in my book, I don't think there was a lot of change for people in the way that they really wanted there to be change, and things actually just got worse. And so that's kind of where I see it, is that his presidency kind of gave up on making things better, transforming people's lives, and instead focused on all this other shit, the people that ended up really coming to fruition in later years.
Yeah, Paul brings up a good point. He says Obama 2.0 helped move the party left.
Yeah.
If you remember Hillary's 2008 campaign, she appealed very much to working class whites, ethnic Catholics, etc. Very much a relic. Yeah. And in 8 years, Hillary went from, trying to speak to the middle class to basically being like, well, fuck y'all. Or like,
you're
a basket of deplorables anyway.
Yeah. Those jobs aren't coming back. Like, we just have to, I think she said something like that too. When Donald Trump was next to her on debate stage and was like, no, we need to bring these jobs back. Americans have been screwed. They've lost their livelihoods to overseas labor. We need to bring them back. And she was saying the opposite.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, I didn't want to, I thought you, okay. I saw your video. I saw a piece of your appearance with Jimmy Dore.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy.
And I want to... Jimmy Dore confounds me a bit because, I've always known him, and for that matter, Lee Fang. I actually remember buying a copy of his book, of a book he wrote many years ago.
Yeah.
Jimmy has always been a guy I could not figure out all the way. But
don't you love that about him, though?
I have to say,
keeps it interesting.
It's good. I mean, that's very good. I mean, I know I'm probably very much predictable these days, but I want to play a clip of what you were responding to.
By the way, I really like Jimmy, just so everyone knows, in case he's watching.
Nothing against Jimmy. I got nothing against Jimmy at all.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying,
I got a big problem with Jimmy.
Oh, or you just saying just?
I was like, what?
Matter of fact, that's why we brought you on, Evan.
To confront me. I mean, I don't agree.
You went on Jimmy Dore?
I don't agree with him on everything, but I agree. That we have some alignment on something, and I think he's funny and a nice guy.
I don't know Jimmy Dore that well.
I think he's a nice guy. Yeah. So
I've seen a few things from him, but I'm not too familiar with him. I did, if I remember correctly, he is kind of hard to nail down, which I don't mind. I like Bill Maher a lot, and Bill Maher's kind of hard to nail down as well.
I'm kind of hard to nail down sometimes. I think people get confused by my political beliefs, which we can talk about today if you guys want.
We should. We definitely should. And I could be like that too, because I do have some left leaning views economically as well. So
I think a lot of working class minded people do.
Yeah.
So actually, I think Jimmy
and also
Vance gets that.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, especially from his upbringing, and I am concerned about the. We can talk about all this later, but AI taking jobs, robots taking jobs.
Jeez,
What do you do about that? You might have to incorporate some kind of UBI kind of thing, right? But I just really can't stand socialism, Marxism, the people who put that forward.
Annoying. They're so annoying.
they're very warped people, but like that doesn't mean you can't have government programs that help.
Oh, of
help
course
the
not.
working class middle class. Just like we don't need to bring that bullshit into it. That's kind of my whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Anyways,
I do want to get your reaction to this. I know that you reacted to this with Jimmy.
Yeah.
But I wanted, because this is the first time I've watched this like all together. A lady that that you work with actually a little bit, AOC. She basically tried in her own way to swear off, like to try and distance herself, I guess, from the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I want to play that for the benefit of our audience, because I have not watched this. I've heard.
You haven't? Oh my God! Okay,
watch this. So
I can't wait to hear your reaction, Isaiah.
Oh God! Oh, it's just gonna be helicopters. Okay, just think of helicopters flying in the distance. Okay, you know how I am with communists, right? Hold on, all right. So here we go. She was on ABC this week. I guess this is last Sunday she was on. Let's watch.
It's possible to win the Senate. So I've been focused on those legislative.
What do you make of those controversial statements? I'm sure you've seen. I mean, she's, the Thanksgiving dust up. She says she doesn't, still believe that, but the abolish prisons, abolish police, which is also positions that have been taken by a lot of the progressive candidates who have won. How do you get around that?
Yeah,
I mean, those are not positions that are supported by.
Right. I mean, I think that a lot of these races, even right now, they'll have a tendency to be nationalized. Yeah. But
they did this themselves.
These races ultimately are local, and all politics are local. My understanding is that Francesca Hong has made clear her present stances to her electorate.
Yeah, she's moved away from a lot of that.
Right, she's moved away from it. And I have a local city councilman that has this saying, woke one was crazy.
Oh my God.
You don't say.
You don't fucking say. Woke one was crazy.
Crazy.
How about an apology? How about an apology for, I mean, that's probably the best we're going to get, but like for calling out everybody fascists and Nazis and racists and transphobes and homophobes and Islamophobes, everything for several years. These are
the architects.
When we were just arguing against what you just admitted was crazy. How about that?
Like, here's what gets me, right? We knew this was going to happen. Did we not? Like, they were going to, we knew that these people were eventually going to try and walk away from the wreckage that they created, right? We're talking about communists. We're talking about leftists, right? Who, these are the same ones who are trying to smash everything, smash the patriarchy, smash the four olds, smash the old way of doing things, and then out of all of that wreckage, we can build something brand new in this new utopia. And the second you have the ability to do so, what do? They try to slink off from the very mess that they made.
And who the hell do they think they're kidding? Of course, AOC and her stupid ass woke friends still believe the same stuff they believed 6-7 years ago. Like, they're full of shit.
I don't buy it.
They're the same people. Like this is, and Evan, I want to get your thoughts on this. Why is it is it just me, or is everybody trying for this whole Abigail Spanberger strategy? Where they run as like they try to portray themselves as moderates to try to maybe get one over on the middle class and fly over country and all that, and then the second they get power, they do some shit like, do a redistricting thing where basically it's one party rule in within the Commonwealth of Virginia.
I think some politicians might be doing that. I do think that there are some moderate Democrats that genuinely want the party to go more back to the center. And I have issues with them too for other things. I think that a lot of people, They think my book's just about the progressives, but I think the establishment hasn't done a great job either, to be honest with you. They don't really stand for anything. A lot of the
No.
centrists in the Democratic Party don't really have any ideas. They're just kind of like the same old, same old. They just want to, continue the decline. They don't want to talk about bringing jobs back. They're still for free trade. They don't really moderate that. They might moderate a little bit on the culture issues, but they don't have any big ideas as far as like making people's lives better and bringing down, the cost of everything. Like they're not able to do that. And so I don't give them a pass either. But I do think there are some people, like I talk about this woman named Marie Gluesenkamp Perez. I don't know if you guys are familiar. She is not in the news as much because she's not really a crazy Democrat. She is in a Trump leading district in Washington and is actually liked by Republicans and Democrats both, although the progressives hate her, of course. But, she's somebody that I think is actually really good. I like her. But I think most of them, I think that they're kind of held capture by their staff. This isn't something that's really talked about. I've talked to some politicians on the establishment side before, and, they've told me that they are afraid of speaking out against people like Zohran Mamdani because their consultants and their staff are telling them not to, because it will alienate the youth. And so I think that a lot of times these more moderate centrist Dems are like being held hostage in a way by their staff, by their donors. I read a lot about this in the book. A lot of the donors, not all of them, but many of the ones, especially like women, to be honest with you, are really interested in like the race stuff, the identity stuff, the free for all immigration stuff. It's like, it's really what they focus on. And I think it's because it's a way to distract from their wealth. It's a way to distract from actually solving problems related to wealth inequality. And I write that in the book. Sorry to use a lib term, but I don't really know how else to say it. Just life being too expensive for a lot of people, and they don't really want to address those things. And so they just, keep both parties kind of like focused on culture wars, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that is kind of a strategy, although it's not a strategy among everyone. And I think the progressives have a different strategy. They're not really leading on defund the police anymore, but they aren't necessarily, besides Zohran, who did kind of walk his stance back, most of them, and I don't really believe him, he's trying to shut down Rikers, but most of them don't actually walk back their positions. People, very key politicians that are running the cycle are not walking back those positions. And are still doubling down on them. I just think that they're kind of moving the public away from those issues and instead are focusing more on APAC, and they are focusing on abolish ICE, which I kind of view as another version of defund the police, that I think is not very smart for them to be running on. They get really mad at me when I say this, but I think it's like stupid. Anyway, so I just think they're kind of like moving their direction and what they focus on, but all of these things are still bubbling beneath the surface.
It is very, very dumb to say you want to abolish border enforcement.
Right.
I mean, so what? Just anybody can just come over and just leave them there. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's keeping an eye on that. Nobody's taking out criminals.
Right. And so I think
that's very stupid.
I think because the public perception shifted a little bit after Minneapolis, which it did, polling shows it did, that they think that they can just run with abolishing ICE. And I don't really think that public perception has as long of a shelf life as they'd like it to. I think that at this point, if you polled most people, they would say that they are for the deportation of undocumented illegal immigrants, and it's just really stupid. I don't think they've lost many elections. I mean, you can talk about some reforms in ICE, right? You could talk about having them not wear a mask or stuff like that, or like not doing the surging the way that they did, like the exact same tactics. you could talk about those things. That's a conversation that could be had. But to just say that you want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and completely abolish them, to me, is stupid. It's stupidity.
It's crazy. As is when they were saying, BLM and plenty of leftists still say abolish the police. They say that, clearly a big thing that they love to say, maybe not in front of camera, but they'll say, ACAB, all cops are bastards. Like they really hate the police. They hate the police.
Yeah.
They want to abolish the police. They want to abolish prisons. Somebody's got to explain to me how that works. Like, what are you going to do with like murderers, rapists, very violent people? What do you do with them?
Rule by mob.
They live in like a
rule by mob. Like we would just have mob justice. Like they're
are they just? We'll just put them on a registry, like a sex offender registry or something, and we get to live around like murderers and rapists and stuff like that, and that's fine. I mean, that seems like that's kind of what they'll go to a social worker for a year or two or something. What is that going to do? You stupid fucks. What is that going to do? Sorry for my swearing. Sorry, guys.
No, please.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Please swear.
Well, we have a lady here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a New York Times bestseller. So I gotta.
Exactly right. So, we also have another gentleman that's here with us who just came in. He is one of my best friends on the entire planet.
Oh.
He is someone who is, I keep saying this, he is literally one of the most talented people I've ever met.
Yes.
And he is part of our apostate posse.
Oh yeah, look at that. There it is.
Mr. Adam Coleman.
It does.
Adam, what's up, brother?
Documentarian.
A documentarian, filmmaker, author, scholar,
Vegetarian.
Humanitarian, vegetarian.
Are you a vegetarian? What?
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I was like, okay, I gotta go. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm omnivore.
Philanthropist. Yeah.
You gotta have money to be a philanthropist.
So, yeah, there you go.
That's right. That's right.
It's true.
Real quick, Evan, because the Paul had something that he had a little pushback. I think you can respond to this. He says, Paul says, I like Evan, but that still isn't an excuse. We're talking about the way that that the people were beholden to their staff. He said that still isn't an excuse. You're the boss.
I agree.
You control your subordinates. If you're that beholden to staffers, you should resign and never be the congressman, senator, etc.
I mean, Paul, you're not wrong. I just think the problem is that stuff is so embedded in the culture of the Democratic Party that there's a real fear of being labeled bigoted or racist or transphobic or any of this. Like it's a fear tactic that it's so potent, or a sexist, or I could go on and on and on with the is, right? But it's just that it's very people are very fearful. And the problem is like if you fire your staff, who are you going to replace them with? It's probably going to be somebody more woke than they are.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that's part of the reason, to be honest, it's not just in political campaigns. Like, I think that's part of the reason that my book hasn't been covered by the left-leaning media that much, is because a lot of the people that are probably looking at my book, even though I know you're reading it, and using it for ideas for your own essays and not always giving me credit. But I think that they are also very woke and the people that are making those decisions. And so it's so ingrained, and it goes back to what I write in my book about the type of person that can make it in Democratic politics. You usually have to have some sort of family safety net in order to make, which I go into details about in my book about why that is. And, a lot of these people come from very privileged backgrounds. They come from very prestigious universities. They come from well-off families. And it just sort of creates this vicious cycle. But I agree. I think the politicians should get more courage.
Can I read an example? Can I read an excerpt?
You can read anything, in the book.
Yeah, I want to read. Yeah, this is page 50. I believe this is chapter 3. And once again, the title of the book is Nothing Left, Confessions of a Democratic Operative. In the top left-hand corner of the screen is a QR code where you can pick up your copy of this incredible book today. And also there are audio books read by the author herself, Evan
With
Barker.
no vocal fry. I had a producer that helped me with that.
She doesn't sound like a Valley girl all
Just
the
a
time.
little bit, you guys. Just a little bit. A little bit.
Oh my God. Oh man. So this is actually really, really interesting. Page 50. Inside the Dems club, my coworkers were dressed like sorority girls and spent most of the lunch ignoring me, talking about their upcoming vacations to Hawaii and Europe. Capitol Hill seemed like the preppiest place on the planet. This must be why politicos, if they are white, think the rest of the world is overwhelmingly privileged. I'll skip down. At one point, one of the women asked me a question about myself. Do you do berries? What kind of berries? I asked. I did not realize they were talking about a $500 a month gym membership. Oh, I go to Planet Fitness, I explained. They look disgusted. If I'm going to be honest, I'd be a little disgusted too.
Oh,
I'm just saying, baby. I'm just saying,
Isaiah,
Planet Fitness.
It's like $10 a month. It gets the job done. You know what? When I was
Planet Fitness is fine.
No, when I got to New York, it was hilarious. When I got to New York the day before the book dropped, I went there for press, and at my hotel there was a Planet Fitness attached to it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be a good week. It's a sign from God. It's gonna be a really good week." Yeah. So that was Go ahead.
So this is let me just they look disgusted. It was becoming clear that most of the people I met in politics who had coveted jobs working for prestigious DC-based organizations came from a similar background. They were usually from upper middle class or wealthy families, typically coastal, and lived in power cities like DC or New York. Most of them had gone into private school. Many of them went on to the Ivy League. Sometimes their parents led NGOs and other political adjacent projects. Often their parents were donors themselves. If they weren't involved in politics through work or donating, then their parents were usually professors or lawyers. I was a rare bird. What was that like navigating that foolishness?
It was almost every day I felt a lot of class resentment. You know, I would go back to I would go visit these campaigns, and then I'd go home, and then, you know, my mom and grandma were living in a trailer park, and like it was pretty rough there, actually. The mobile home behind them caught on fire. This guy died, and I didn't even put all of this in the book because I didn't know if they'd want me to, but like there were like shootings and, you know, drug dealings nearby, and, you know, it was just it was rough. And I remember one Christmas, and this was actually like a few months after that encounter that you just described. I was back in town for Christmas, and like I've been helping my family as much as I can, but they didn't always want help, to be honest with you. I think that's like a common misconception with a lot of these types of people that, you know, that think that we should just free grocery stores and free everything. And, you know, my family is like kind of proud and they don't really want that stuff. But I remember this guy knocked on our door, and he was from a church, and he offered my grandma and my mom a free bag of groceries because it was around Christmas time, and my grandma's fridge was completely empty. And I was going to be buying us KFC that night for dinner. But I remember I got really upset because I wanted my grandma to just take the groceries, but she wouldn't. And she said instead to just go next door to the other guy. And then I would go to these extremely wealthy fundraisers and see like all these platters of food and all these extremely out of touch people praising the Green New Deal and talking about wiping student debt. But, I have student debt. I still have $30,000 in outstanding student debt. But I knew that kind of messaging, that kind of policy was actually quite alienating to people like my grandma, people like my uncle. He once said to me, no one ever paid my union dues. I was in a union my whole damn life. I paid for all of them. And most of those college kids are going to go on and make 3 times what I make in my life. So fuck them, And that is, it was just like a constant me kind of being quiet. I always kind of felt half in, half out, like I'd go back home and I would have like the feeling of being in these really wealthy spaces and just like seeing that world and then going home to my family and then seeing their life and then going to those spaces and feeling half out of those spaces too. Like I didn't really belong there. And that was just kind of what it was like. And I could deal with that though. Like I could deal with the snobbery and stuff for a while because I thought that they were trying to better my grandma's life overall. I hadn't totally figured out what they were really about yet. But then once, 2020 happened and 2020, like I realized what they had become. And at that point it was just like, I kind of like lost my mind, in a way, because I just saw the betrayal and the way that they looked at people like my family. We should have Adam talk. He hasn't really talked that much.
He don't talk that much anyway.
That's all right. I mean, you don't.
Adam, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah. Come on.
Anything?
Good, Adam.
Which part? The snobbery in the Democrat Party part?
Snobbery or just like how the fundamental disconnection, you're from the working class as well. Like you've written about this, just the disconnection that the party has towards, and not just working class whites, but working class Black people too. I actually think have more in common culturally with my family than they do with Zohran Mamdani or the people that are behind him.
Yes. I've said before, the primary reason I decided to be involved in was that I felt like no one was actually speaking up for rational, normal people.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it reminds me of Jonathan Capehart crying because of Trump. And then he wrote this op-ed, it was like 3 years ago, where he was making himself to be a hero because he didn't leave the country. And I was just like, these are the people. This is the guy who gets, and I know Isaiah has a personal.
I know Jonathan. I've known Jonathan a long time.
I got a problem with him too.
I don't know.
I got beef with Jonathan too, man. Actually,
Jonathan and Jimmy.
I got beef with everybody. No,
but like, but that type of stuff, it just sounds like the most pussy thing to say.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous. It's so absurd and so ridiculous. But they believe that stuff. They believe that they're the saviors of society who've done absolutely nothing, but just wake up in the morning and experience zero problems. And so they have such little problems that they have to invent them, or they have to jump in and pretend that there's a part of someone else's issue.
Or they have to be so dumb that they cause problems for people who are less fortunate, like defund the police and abolish prisons, where are those people going to go? Inner cities, poor areas that are filled with oftentimes people of color. It does seem like that. I just want to say, I mean, the Democrats are clearly not a party for the working class.
No.
But they seem to be, maybe the very poor and mainly poor immigrants is really kind of as much as it goes, I think, as far as like the poorer working class people. They don't give a shit about the working class citizens so much. It doesn't seem like it's mainly immigrants is really what they care about. That's
And
it.
my
Like
grandma
illegal
got
immigrants.
upset because she was like
Yeah.
not able to get hearing aids paid for, you know, or her dentures replaced, and had to put dentures on her credit card or something like that. And she found out about how California was paying for boob jobs for
Transgender.
illegal transgender people living in homeless encampments. And I was like, Grandma, just come to California, renounce your citizenship,
Yeah.
you'll be able to get
Seriously.
health care.
You call yourself trans or non-binary, and you'll be able to get a lot of stuff done.
Literally, like, you know, that was the one thing that made that you know, kind of like you, Adam, the fact that the people, the people who most fervently call themselves the heroes of the middle class, the heroes of unions. I'm a union member myself. Okay. And
I love unions.
I mean, and I do too. Even, you know, as conservative as I've become, I still
I don't like the
I am
teachers.
still
I don't like.
pro-labor.
I like private sector unions. Can I put that on there?
Well,
there's a distinction.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, the I won't divulge which
Yours.
union I'm in, but the fact of the matter is,
I'm pro union.
right. I mean, I'm right. I'm pro labor. I am
Yeah.
pro labor union. I still think there is a place for it. Okay. And my issue historically has always been there, like the you know, the upper echelons of union management and management of the, you know, the businesses that they work under. I don't like that cronyism. There should still be an adversarial relationship between the two, right? But the Democrat Party have, without fail, completely immolated. It's like all the pretenses are just gone. It's like this party acts as this permanent aristocracy who has the right to just throw whatever crumbs they want to the plebs. Right, you know, if it's not Hillary Clinton calling people a basket of deplorables, if it's not fuck Pete Buttigieg looking people dead in the face and going, well, if you don't like $5 a gallon gas, go buy an electric vehicle. You know, like it's stuff like that, or Stacey Abrams telling you know, working and middle class women that if you don't like if you're having problems, you know, economically, just have an abortion. And she did say that, by the way.
Wait, who said that? Kamala?
No, that was Stacey Abrams.
Oh, you're right.
And I'm just like, this is like, what was that? I keep asking this question because you document a lot of this because you saw it, right? Like you were in it as this disconnect was happening.
Right.
What, like how did it affect you? Like, how deeply did it affect you? You know, like leading up to obviously when you walked away from the party, like
it enraged me. It enraged me, you guys. It was like, I just knew, like, people ask me, they're like, well, why did you vote for Trump? Like, he wanted to repeal the ACA. And I have to say, like, well, he promised he wouldn't this time and he hasn't. But the main reason was that, like, I was also a mother and I didn't want to be a part of an organization anymore that hated my son. That's what it really comes down to, is that the Democratic Party hates men and they hate working class white people. They really do. And that is what I saw. And so those are like that's where my heart's at, right? You know, my family back home and then my son. And I was just willing to take that gamble because I got to a point where it just made me so upset. I remember my final straw, realizing that they really didn't give a shit about ever winning back the people in my family again or serving their interests, was in 2022, I was at Tom Steyer's house at a party.
Oof.
And I knew the woman that had just been named his director. And she was laying out her strategy for the midterms. And I read about this in the book. And she got up on stage and said, we're not going to win those people back. The people that left and went and voted for Donald Trump, they're gone forever. The future is young people and people of color in Texas, is what she said. And I think she was
Immigrantes.
I think she's thinking young Latinos, yeah. And
Muslims
Latinx.
too, apparently. A lot of
Latinx.
Yeah, no, it's Latinx.
To her credit, she didn't say Latinx, but yeah, but she said, but yeah. And so, and I was kind of like, I remember looking, my husband was with me, and I looked at him and I said, wow, that's a great way for Donald Trump to get reelected, isn't it? And, you know, I have text messages on my phone from 2022 where I texted people and I was like, Joe Biden's not going to win in 2024. Kamala Harris won't win in 2024. You know, I was already thinking at that point that she would probably naturally be the one to replace him just because I know how the Democratic Party works. And I know that nobody would come out and say that she shouldn't be the nominee because they don't want to be racist or whatever, right?
I heard she threatened that too. Like she threatened more or less that.
Did you hear that?
Like,
I haven't read that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I heard. I think I remember
sure
hearing
she
from
did.
like her team would like basically. I'm trying to remember where I heard it from, but like basically would be like, well, it's not a good look to be, you know,
Right.
not running your woman of color vice president.
Accusations
Like basically
of sexism or racism are the most potent attacks in the Democratic Party. So I'm sure that was, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I would be surprised.
You guys brought up something. I completely forgot about this. When Biden was running for president, just before he had won, they were like, who's going to be your VP pick? And all of a sudden they said, it has to be a black woman. Like,
Yeah.
that was the criteria. It's just
That
has to
was
be a
like
black
donor pushed mostly. I know that James
That is so
Clyburn-
silly, man.
Everyone said
That is
it
so
was
silly.
James Clyburn, but I think it was donor pushed. Really.
woman.
That's ridiculous.
And
man.
then it just became a list of innocuous black women.
Well, it's just like offensive too to black women, I think. I mean, if I were a black woman,
You
I
would-
would be offended.
But you know what? You would think. But
You would think.
But for these people, see, this is one thing. I strongly believe this.
Come on.
To upper class, I say upper middle class and above,
Mhm.
black people, their race is a tool to get ahead when necessary, but it's not how they live by. Right? They don't go around dapping up each other and say black power, black this, black that. What
Nope.
they do is they live whatever class lifestyle it is. They go to predominantly white schools.
Yeah.
They go to Ivy League schools.
There's a lot
go
of
to
the
the top-
people I encountered that were black
Yeah.
on campaigns. Yeah.
Right.
Behind the scenes, they call it Black Wall Street. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys have ever heard that phrase before.
Yeah.
Black Wall Street.
This is
They stole that from something else, though, didn't they?
Yeah,
They
like
stole that
Maxwell
from something
Rockwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think there's another Black Wall Street. I don't know if it was a hip hop thing or I think it was
No,
something else.
Black Wall Street.
Tulsa.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah, Tulsa. Okay,
Yeah,
did you say
the
that,
Tulsa.
Adam? I missed
Yeah,
that.
the
Yeah.
Tulsa race riots. The
Yeah.
Tulsa race
I
riots.
think they
That's what-
were literally referring to like black donors that were in finance or something.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
And that in Democratic politics, that's what it meant. But yeah, it's like a whole group of people that kind of just want to focus on identity over material concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
fact, can I read that excerpt?
Yeah, read
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, because if you don't know now, you know, folks. This is Apostate Radio 64 We have the Queen Apostate in the building. Listen, it's a celebration, y'all. Basically, that's what this is. This is a celebration of our dear friend, our little sister, Evan Barker, with her CNN mug. I do want to ask about that.
Evan Dunn came up, man. She done came up with 7-Up.
Came up.
I've had this since I was 14, so.
You
Really?
keep mugs that long? Wow.
I used to.
I got some old
y'all.
mugs.
I used to be a.
I had some. I'd keep a CNN. If I had a CNN mug, I'd keep it.
Yeah.
Nothing left. Confessions of a Democratic Operative. New York Times bestseller. Please look at like how crazy is that, right? How crazy is that? Buy your book,
and Apostate Radio gets 50% of proceeds that you buy through this this barcode. So, and I still need new drawers. So come on.
I just want to say,
Yes.
can I say something? I've been accused by people are like, oh, she's just doing this for money. Can I say I made more money working in progressive politics than I've made from this book or writing or anything else? Just so you know, the book Advance is like a year and a half of working in progressive politics. Like it is not like.
What a dumb thing to say.
And I destroyed my career and my only professional experience in the process.
You were a successful fundraiser and operative. Like what do you like? You're gonna get like one book selling thing, and like nobody pays you for media stuff usually. So it's just like
no, they don't. They don't pay for that.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do? You gonna live off that for the rest of your life? Like what a foolish thing to say.
Actually, a lot of people pay to get on TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this excerpt that this next excerpt that I'm gonna read is from Race Class Narrative, chapter 11. Leah Hunt Hendricks. I don't know much about this lady here.
I can tell you about her. Should I just give the context, or
please? Please, yes.
So she is a major donor to progressive candidates. A lot of people think Soros runs everything, but from my point of view, Leah was the woman in charge. She ran a very important organization called Way to Win, which we interfaced with often, sometimes I would say. They supported a lot of Justice Democrats type candidates, DSA aligned, sometimes DSA candidates. I think that had also been endorsed by the DSA. Mm-hmm. I might need to fact check myself, but I'm pretty sure. I can pretty much say that with certainty. And they would host a lot of donor conferences, and basically is a donor network of connecting other very wealthy, usually white women, to giving to these candidates and to these causes. And she was an oil heiress. Her grandfather was, I think, H.L. Hunt. I think that was him. And he was an oil baron from Texas, and at one point was the richest man alive. Oh, wow. And her family is pretty famous. And I'm sorry, I'm going on for a minute, but it's interesting. This is like something that the public doesn't really know about, the people behind the scenes, right? But I think her uncle owns the Kansas City Chiefs, but he is not a Democrat. He's a Republican. So the family is very big, but
the
she's
Hunt family.
So she's very.
That's not Lamar Hunt. Lamar
Hunt is the patriarch of the family.
Yeah.
He's a big soccer guy, right? He's a big soccer.
It's all from so Lamar Hunt used to own the Chiefs, and now his son owns it, and I forget his first name. They
used to own like half MLS, I think.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they're
one of the first.
The Hunt family still owns FC Dallas.
Yeah,
they still own FC Dallas, and the Pro Soccer Hall of Fame is down there. I think it's
U.S. Open Cup's named after him.
U.S. Open Cup, exactly. Yeah. So
so she's a billionaire heiress that I knew in Democratic politics. She stayed at my house once, which I write in the book. But yeah, so she's very involved behind the scenes.
So now that we know this, and I want to just double check something. This guy Lucas Kuntz, I think that's how I hope that's how you pronounce his last name. Lucas Kuntz is a white guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But it's okay. It's okay. But just go ahead. Just so you know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just looked at them. I just looked at that. Okay. So so this part isn't necessarily about her. This excerpt is about race class narrative. And
right.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to read this. Page 158. When RCN, race class narrative.
Which Leah was a big fan of.
Race class.
Yeah.
White liberals frustrate me. Anyways, RCN was a way to pivot to every. Shut up, Nino.
You know that's the first time I'm hearing this, Isaiah.
Isn't that obvious?
I had no idea. I had no idea, man.
Oh my God.
What other pet peeve do you have?
RCN was a way to pivot to every issue to identity. It trained politicians to think of every issue as an identity issue first and foremost. RCN was an entire intellectual framework that reduced every agenda item on the progressive wish list to racial politics. Here are a few examples. When Bernie Sanders wrote on Twitter, raising the minimum wage is not, hold on, I got to do it like this. Raising the minimum wage is not just about economic justice. It is about racial justice. Nearly half of Black and Latino workers in America make under $15 an hour. We must end starvation wages and give 32 million Americans a raise by increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. This is RCN.
Yeah.
When
that's the structure. Yeah.
Yeah. When Kamala Harris gave a speech, it said, and I'm not even going to try that because
please.
There ain't enough alcohol.
You want to do it, Evan? You do it. You go ahead, Evan.
No.
You do the
no.
I'm not doing that. Okay. Keep
going. Adam, you want to give it a shot? Never mind.
Adam can do it.
He's like, no.
Well, you have to talk a lot about the passage of time and then spend a lot of time, passing time to keep talking about the passage of time and then reflecting on the passage of time throughout the passage of time. All right.
And you got to be unburdened by what has came before or whatever.
Right? Exactly. Do the laugh. Paul saying, do the laugh. Okay. When Kamala Harris gave a speech, it said, because of systemic inequity, workers of color were more likely to be on the front lines.
Yeah, not bad.
But when working people are left unprotected, everyone pays the price. This is
Isaiah, you're good at this.
Isaiah's pretty good at this impression stuff.
Okay. Leftist elites were obsessed with RCN, so they pushed it on the politicians. People like me had little room to push back against high-powered donors who ran extremely important organizations and who were inserting their beliefs into campaign messaging.
Yeah.
I got to ask this question. Do you feel like, from your experiences in this, do you feel like a lot of this were attempts by some of these people to assuage whatever white guilt they might have been feeling?
Yes. Yes. And I think what's so surprising about race class narrative, I just want to say this, is like, I've been told by Republicans that have read the book, they're like, oh, I just thought that was always Democrats being woke. I didn't realize that it was this entire intellectual framework that they were being coached and trained on how to speak this way. And what's really interesting, actually, about race class narrative specifically, is that there's actually been some studies done. I didn't put this in the book because I thought I was getting a little too analytical, and the book's not really an analytical book. It's more just my firsthand account and experience. It's supposed to be read like a story. But there were some Yale nerds that were bipartisan, they were not political at all, and they did a study on race class narrative, I think in around 2020, because they probably noticed that it was being promoted, and if probably talked to insiders to find out like what it was. And they did a test. They did a poll basically with groups of people to test how effective it was. And what they found is that when they played clips of politicians speaking about it to groups of working class white people, it had a negative effect. It made them feel like I'll just say how it made me feel and my family feel. It made us feel like we weren't included in the equation because there was like this constant centering of race. So like our struggles didn't really matter. And then it had no positive impact on working class people of color, which I find to be extremely interesting because their whole theory is that it would be a way to unite white and black and brown people along class lines by including that everybody needed to have their minimum wage raised, but then highlighting specific ethnic groups that were suffering the most. So that would appeal to people of color, but then it would also appeal to white people because it would bring them together, because then they knew that the overall goal was to uplift everybody. But I actually think it just did a lot of damage. And I think that this reflects that. The study actually reflects that. And they know about the study and they just continue to push it anyway. Even as recently as after the election, I saw people from this movement that were defending it online. And I'm sure it's still being pushed. Zohran Mamdani, his website, his campaign website said, and I think still says, he wanted to tax rich and whiter neighborhoods more. I think that's RCM, baby. There it is.
Impoverish the white middle class too is what's I think.
Well,
Cia
that's
Weaver
them
said.
being more explicit about what they want to do,
Yeah.
but yeah, they'll kind of like slip it into this fancy little framework,
Impoverish the white middle class. I wonder how that will pull across the country.
Right, and so I just
Impoverish
can't
means
believe
to make poor.
that they still do it, and there's like no way that somebody like me could ever push back on a very high-powered donor or a very high-powered consultant that is pushing this stuff, or a group. And really hard for anybody to push back, because we're going to be called racist or, basically told to shut up probably. So, but I think they're still going to talk like this in years to come, and I still see it. So,
well, that's
what I say. Is that,
go ahead,
it's interesting the findings on that. I mean, we know about the stories of the studies on like DEI not working and actually increases like racial tensions, stereotypes, feelings of racial animosity in DEI. And we also know in social psychology that, when you emphasize people's differences ethnically or whatever, religious or whatever, it makes people more tribalistic. It affects there's a lot of negative effects. It just does.
It just creates resentment.
It's very divisive. It makes people suspicious of each other, makes people want to stick with their own group. It's the opposite of what you should do in a pluralistic, diverse society. And that's what the left has been doing for a long time. It's the
opposite of what Martin Luther King said to do,
Yeah, it's the opposite of that. Yes. And and it's just, I just want to say, it's interesting from that specific study of you saying like that, white people were, which would make sense, especially if you're like a poor working class white person, has a lot of issues, a lot of, you're hard to pay the bills, you don't have steady income, don't have a good paying job, don't have any job. The whole town is like in shit. Like just people have drug issues, whatever, opiate issues, whatever could be going on in a lot of these areas. And you're sitting there hearing about how only black people or Latinos have problems. And you're just like, what is going on here? Why is this?
Or like maybe you have problems with the police too, like maybe you're caught up in the legal, system as well.
So of course they're going to be,
yeah.
Of course they're going to think it's negative. And then the fact that you said black people didn't seem to be affected tells me that black people are sick of hearing this shit. Like that's what it tells me. It's like, okay, we got to hear this again. Like how many decades are we going to hear the same nonsense? Like, so I don't know. I don't. You guys tell me what you think. But that's that. If it didn't have any really effect, they're probably just like, it's just like it's like background noise.
Pandering,
black people, we got to help black people. We got to help black people. Okay.
Before I get Adam's response, because you know he's got I'm sure he's got a pretty interesting perspective on this. I want to play an extreme example of this.
Okay.
A local example of this.
Mm-hmm.
Here in New York, apparently, New York loves pizza. Okay, New York loves and enjoys pizza a whole lot. Well, you guys up there, a pizza and all that, which is delicious, by the way. I will never, ever, ever disparage a pizza. But here we just elect raw pizza dough to the New York State Assembly. Okay. Here is Emily Gallagher. Okay. Emily Gallagher is an assemblywoman. She represents Greenpoint and Williamsburg. And she is definitely one of these abolish prisons type. She's a DSAer. And when I tell you, this is the most like if you want to talk about something like the perfect chef's kiss, extreme example of what you're talking about.
She's the avatar.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
She is the great white whale in more ways than one.
She's over here looking like Penguin in Batman Returns, man, or whatever movie it was.
Oh, bro. Oh, just listen to her talk. Here's an extreme example of what you were talking about.
We saw were crimes of poverty. People who were stealing things like toothpaste. People who were stealing things like, soap. And that means if you're stealing those things, you need them. And we are choosing to protect billion-dollar companies like CVS and Walgreens over the people who are struggling to get by. So I would say that the true crime is that there is such incredible wealth disparity in this city that there are people who can be thrown in jail simply for having a biological need. And so one of the things that I'm fighting for at the state level is to make sure we pass things like treatment, not jail, and that we hold the line on the incredible criminal justice reforms that we have done over the last 10 and 20 years that are constantly being threatened by right-wing media who are looking to fearmonger about people who are actually just in absolute dire straits.
So,
come on.
Not only is she gorgeous, she's a genius. She's a double threat. New Yorkers, what the fuck are you waiting for?
That's Adam's type right there, man. He looks.
That's Fred. That reminds me of Martin.
Yeah.
I like my women like my cars, old and ugly.
Oh man.
And the size of a Buick.
Deuce in the corner.
Oh
we shouldn't. We should not fat shame. We should not be fat shaming, guys. Come on.
No,
we're better than this.
No, we should not be fat shaming. We should be fat lambasting.
Oh.
No, if
I'm staying out of that conversation because for obvious reasons.
So I'm gonna say it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm gonna be dead serious. So like when I was in high school, I wasn't very popular, right? But because I speak like how I speak. I didn't talk like this, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't talk like that, and I didn't dress all hip hop.
Code switching. That's called code switching, kids. Yeah.
There you go. This is how I talk. And so I was always like caught in between. I wasn't really in any particular group. I wasn't black enough. And I wasn't preppy enough or cool enough. So I hung out with the rejects. The rejects were my friends, right? And they were like the goth kids of the time and stuff like that. But I was cool with them. And they treated me with some sort of respect. These people remind me of like the other set of rejects that no one likes. See, they're unlikable rejects.
Keep talking. I'm listening. I'll be right back.
Like it's like being, you can't be this sounds bad. I feel like because we're on Apostate Radio, I'm just speaking very openly. But like, you can't be fat and mean. Like you,
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
Like,
that's a good point.
Like, you gotta be fat.
You can't be fat and unlikable,
and humble.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
you gotta be fat and unlikable too.
You can't be fat and unlikable and mean and have an arrogance and entitled.
Right.
No,
you can't be dumb and cocky. Right. And so if you can't be a social reject and so idiotic and so sure of yourself that you're so unlikable and obnoxious. And so that's what I see here. Yes, she's not very attractive. Like,
that describes much of the DSA,
like,
man.
Right.
In those at least in those big group meetings, but they all got their mask on and they're all like point of privilege, point of privilege, point of privilege. Like
they all gather because
no thanks.
Think of it like 30, 40 years ago. When would a group of losers be able to find each other? But in this case, they got the internet and they now can get some sort of point of privilege, as you put, because I don't know, I'm cockeyed and now I belong to this disability group and I'm somehow special. Like it just becomes this whole thing. And so my thesis here is that we've allowed unlikable losers to have a microphone and stand up there. And by the way, I know that it's a group of unlikable losers, right? Not because I'm just saying she's an unlikable loser, but I'm saying her entire posse is an unlikable losers. Like, I'm just looking behind them. You can just one look and you can tell these are people you don't even want to be on the subway with. Yes, that's right. That's right. Right. You can hear it.
Girl, clock that T.
Yeah, clock
You
that.
better clock it.
Yeah, you can. But going to
not good.
Evan, these are the types of people that they would put the microphone in front of often.
Yep.
These idiots. And don't let them be an unlikable loser with an Ivy League degree. Lord have mercy, they'll be on MSNBC in no time.
Right.
He's
they're on there already.
Bald-headed.
They already on there?
Saying,
they're on there already, my brother.
That don't make any sense.
Don't get problematic, Evan, the microphone.
That's what they do on MSNBC.
So they went from, speaking of MSNBC, they went from Joy Reid to Boy Reid. That like the dude who looked like Lionel Richie.
Well, no, that's
what's his name?
You're misunderstanding.
I don't know his name.
That's not the Jordan Peele guy.
That's Jordan Peele. Yeah.
Like Jordan Peele.
That guy's funny looking, man.
With the wettest motherfucking Jerry curl, you can tell he's staying every single chair. That nigga, ooh. That Jerry curl.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
You look like beautiful from Chappelle Show, man. Hit me, baby.
In this, I want to bring this back to what I was trying to say.
Sorry. Go. Because I gotta ask. I got two more questions for Evan.
You gotta get back to.
But this goes back to what I said before. When there are black people of a certain class, they will leverage it, and they will leverage it until they end up on television,
like Sunny Hostin.
Like Sunny Hostin.
Yeah.
Who has never said anything that is thought provoking, original, or anything like that. Her main line is that she used to be a prosecutor.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Same as Kamala Harris and all these other people. Let them level up in just one circumstance. Let them just give them an inch, and they will ride it to death of how they're this proud black person, and there's sky's the limit for them. And look what they were able to accomplish. And they're the most unlikable people. And I can always tell people who are unlikable because unlikable people want praise for stuff they didn't earn.
Yes.
They just want to be clapped because I'm a black woman. That just clap for me because I had no control over it. I just was born a black woman. And so clap for me. I exist and I'm here. And I'm just going to go on and on about stuff that I had no control over and I didn't earn. And yet somehow I should be praised. I should get some sort of point of privilege. I should get all of these things for stuff I didn't earn. Only the most obnoxious people feel that way. So that's my rant.
Yeah. No, indeed.
Evan, I want to. How much of that did you come across though? Like,
well, I think I call people like this in my book the weaponizers. That's what I call them. I don't know if you guys remember the archetypes that I laid out for the different people that are working democratic politics. But I think it was like the lifers, the pure-hearted, the burnouts, the fame seekers, and the weaponizers. Those are the 5 archetypes. Sometimes people are multiple archetypes. I was a lifer, and I started out as a pure-hearted, and then I became a lifer, and then I ended my career as a burnout. But I saw weaponizers repeatedly, especially during the peak woke one era. But I know from emails that I've gotten that this is still happening. But yeah, just people that I write about a story in my book about a woman that I feel like fits this description, who kind of went after me because I feel like she was professionally threatened. She was she was professionally sort of threatened by me. Because I was competent at my job and I probably stepped out of my lane a little bit. I did that often, but usually you would just kind of talk it out with me, which is what I tried to do. And instead she weaponized her race to professionally harm me. And it cost me relationships and damaged my reputation in democratic politics and on that campaign I was working on. And so, yeah, I would see these types of people. And another level of it is that some of them will kind of use their identity. There was another guy I mentioned in the book who goes on CNN a lot and works for ABC, and they kind of make their entire careers off of being identity experts. Where they this one guy was like using his status as a Latino. Which, by the way, I've heard from people that he doesn't even speak Spanish.
What a loser.
To convince campaigns that he is the best person to do, to get Latinos to vote. And, and so I think there's these people that really benefit from the Democratic Party being in this sort of sickened state. And I think that is going to be one of the hardest things to change about the culture of the Democratic Party, and why it's nearly impossible to change, in my opinion, unless they get some sort of Donald Trump-like figure that doesn't care what anyone calls him, and it has to be a man. I think I don't see any women in the Democratic Party wanting to do this. I would have, but
But that you know what?
I didn't have enough power, so.
Well, there. I do want to ask.
Wait, Isaiah, I just want to push back on what Evan said just now, because I think she forgot to mention that it's a common tactic by white women to deflect and play victim, especially when talking to men and women of color. So.
Especially talking to a woman of color.
Yeah, I wanted to add the men because we got.
That's what her email said. Woman. Yes. It didn't even say women. It just said a woman.
Oh my
God. A woman of color.
Tactic of the white woman.
The white.
An entitled white woman
of color. Yeah.
And she said some mannerisms were really ruining your day, I guess.
You guys, my mannerisms were problematic. What does that even mean?
You're marginalizing her. You're marginalizing her with the way your hands are moving. How can your
mannerisms be problematic? Can somebody explain that to me? Like doing this?
Well, see, go ahead, Adam.
Well, Evan, sometimes you have that racist stare.
I need to go to a shaman
The white glare.
and exercise it out of me, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my God.
She has the white glare, man. It makes you feel uncomfortable and
read about the
threatened,
shaman
marginalized.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaman, wait, the shaman story?
Yeah.
That wasn't Jacob Chansley? Wait.
I don't know who that is.
That's the QAnon, the alleged QAnon shaman.
No. There's a story in the book about a woman who I do not name, who told me she was always repulsed by white men, but would want me to like set her up on dates and stuff, but like could never be with a white guy. and I
Was it Ilhan Omar?
So you trying to get cut? So y'all trying to get colonized on the low in the sheets?
All of them. Francesca Hong, AOC,
she wasn't
Ilhan
down
Omar.
for it. This woman was not down, but so she was like told me she went on like a drug induced hallucination journey with a shaman who during this hallucination she saw her ancestors, and the non-white side of her family, they were gentle and kind and sweet, and then when she met her ancestors in Europe, it was like darkness all around and pure terror, and she was writhing and crying, and the woman who was also a white woman, the shaman had to talk her out of it and to calm her down and to say like just they're not evil, just to kind of like work through this, you can do it. And then the same woman told me I don't even know if I should say this, it's in the book, but she told me she once did drugs with Congressman Greg Casar, did magic mushrooms, not drugs, magic mushrooms. I don't even know if it's classified as a drug, but magic mushrooms with him once in a field, and I don't know what they were doing, but it was I don't know, it was just like these were the kinds of, I include all this because it's like these are the kinds of things that I would encounter, you guys, and I had to be like the supportive person that was like, oh my God, that's horrible. Like, I'm so sorry you went through that. I hope that, you feel better now. But like in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
are you sorry you were oppressed by your white ancestors in a vision quest?
And I'm white and I'm European, and I don't know. It just was weird. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, why are you telling me this?
Listen,
makes me feel weird. It makes me feel like I'm like bad or something for something that I can't even control, which is that I'm white.
Evan,
what?
In instances like that, I would like to offer you, like, when all you got to do when if you ever encounter these things again.
I don't think I will. I hang out with you guys now, so I hang out with y'all now, so I don't know if I will. But if I do,
we get bathed in the Holy Spirit. I'm messing around with demons and psychedelics.
Yeah.
But whenever you encounter those types of people ever again, all you have to do is remember the words of Rick James.
Right.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. That's
cocaine?
All you gotta do. Cocaine is
and or psilocybin.
A hell of a drug. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to. That's really. Honestly, that sounds like really like you should have just like mantraed that, like chanted like a fucking affirmation as you're going into some of these people's offices. Just be like, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. As long as I just keep that in my mind as I see these crazy people, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Woke is a hell of a drug, right?
That's for sure. I gotta ask you.
Woke 1.0 is crazy.
You guys, I have to step away for like 30 seconds. Is that okay? I'll be right back.
Of course,
okay?
I'll drop you down.
Okay, just 30 seconds. Okay.
Okay, I'll drop you down. Yeah.
Pretend I'm Evan.
What happened?
Guys.
What happened, Evan?
Shut up!
I'm ready for the question.
Oh my God. You know what?
My hair is not that long.
No. Well, not the hair on your head. The beard is a different story. You know, you out here looking like fucking Black Moses. Anyways, you
Keep it up. I'm a part the C's of this podcast.
Oh shit! Oh, shit. Damn.
Oh my God, bro. This, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just so happy. This is the happiest I've been in a while. Like, just to have three of the people I love the most in my life here with me on a podcast, celebrating Evan's success, obviously, but we gotta talk about you, my friend.
What happened? What's going on?
You dropped a documentary, sir.
That's right.
You dropped the trailer for it.
It slipped my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to say this.
Adam had a big event, man. A film premiere in New York.
Adam had a huge so I wonder.
You were in attendance.
So this is something real quick. Oh, hey Evan, you're back. I just want to do this real quick, because Adam here has dropped perhaps the trailer of the century.
Are we going to play it?
We are going to play it.
Yes.
We are going to play it.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited.
Oh, you haven't? Oh.
Mm-mm.
So
I haven't really been looking at my messages. I've been nonstop.
A quick bit of context for the benefit of our audience. A couple weeks ago, when we took our first infamous Apostate's portrait that will be hanging up on my wall very soon. After dinner, after Adam's birthday dinner, we were treated to a showing of a documentary called America's Moms. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, you can talk about it.
We were blessed to view a documentary that Adam had finished called America's Moms. It was tracking the group Moms for Liberty, okay, and the work that they've done in fighting gender cultism and saving the lives of many young people, okay? It was one of the most powerful documentaries I'd ever seen. And I'm just being flat out. I mean, Nino and I, we were both blown away by it. But I kept saying this to people, and shout to Chrissy Mayer, because I said this to her first. And I said this to my wife, Kareen. I said, if you think America's Moms was something, wait until you see the illegal highways. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you all the trailer for the illegal highways. You're going to understand the depth of how our country has been betrayed in a very, very, very important part of our nation's infrastructure. Submitted for your viewing pleasure. The illegal highways.
We'll have several hundred great motorized carriers rolling at one time, rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
These are 80,000-pound potential missiles driving down the wrong way on a freeway. I knew the problem was big, but how big was the problem? It was underscored with this video.
It's hard for everybody when they come to grasp the fact that illegal aliens have been given commercial driver's licenses, in the fact that these people are illegal.
We were soulmates. We grew together.
I just missed him so much. He was my whole life.
A guy who had been deported 17 times hit him in his personal vehicle and killed him.
They're not represented in the database that would show instances of reckless driving, instances of DUI, instances where they were involved in crashes. So there's this huge blind spot. You don't know who's on the road then and what their past was.
She's my
fighting for her life at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital after suffering multiple injuries from a big rig crash that happened in the Mojave Desert last week.
You still have that little bit of hope that she's going to wake up and talk. You know, your whole world crashes again. You're literally living a nightmare.
The cost is also being measured in lives. You can't bring human life back. And I think people need to understand that Amazon wanting to save a single percentage point on their traffic buy is costing everybody else in dead people.
The highway and the motor carrier are two of our great economic assets. Assets that must continue to be developed and maintained at the highest point of safety and efficiency if our American way of life is to continue to grow and prosper.
Damn. That shit looks crazy, man.
This is
I must have been emotional.
Documentary of the year.
It must have been emotional filming this, Adam, because obviously a lot of people are been through a lot of what's the word? Tragedies, you know, heartbreaking tragedies that you were talking about.
Yeah. Probably the most emotional. I mean, they were all emotional. Probably the most emotional. Isaiah was there for. The woman in the clip.
Was
Deanne
crying.
Miller.
Deanne Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the background to that day was that, you know, I interviewed her for about an hour, but then I interviewed friends, family friends and stuff. So that it basically turned into like a day of it. It was like 5-6 hours of interviewing people. And Deanne was there the entire time in the background crying. And so that clip where you see hugging, that's her hugging her great nephew, who was like slowly as he's talking, I can see him, tears are building up. And he's even surprised that he was crying because you know, he didn't think he was going to be crying, but he hadn't talked about loss in some time. So it was just all coming out. So it was just one big emotional moment that the audience gets to see. But like, this one man meant a lot to people, and he was taken away because a guy who was deported 16 times prior decided to get behind the wheel of a truck. We've been talking about non-domicile CDLs, but this guy didn't even have a CDL. And so there's so many systemic questions. How does a guy without a CDL get behind the wheel of a truck? How does he make it to a shipyard and they put everything onto the truck and they don't secure the load properly? And they have inspections at this particular yard. Why would they put the shipment on his truck when his truck is too small for this type of shipment? Why wasn't it secured properly with the right type of securement? Like, there's so many different questions that come into play. And if one of those things was solved, her husband would be alive and I wouldn't even be talking to him. So this is the consequence of a systemic failure, greed within the trucking industry. And I would even say government ineptitude, because they're just following this narrative that we must need more truckers. We need more truck drivers, and just turning a blind eye. And then especially, you know, talking to all the trucking experts that I was able to talk to, as far as when the problem became like a massive problem. And it was during the Biden administration, when all these people came over and well, for one, they reversed the stay in Mexico order. And so then that raised, everyone coming through the border because they knew they would be able to stay in the United States and just disappear into our homeland and just claim asylum. And it just became a free-for-all, which anyone with common sense would be able to see. But the Biden administration allowed it. And so they said, well, what are we going to do with these people? And so they allowed for them to get work authorizations. So they're here in the country illegally. They're not supposed to be getting CDLs. They're not supposed to be doing any of this stuff. It just became this huge mess. And this is much of the result. There is an angle within the film where it talks about the Indian drivers. Anyone who's been paying attention to these massive crashes, there's an Indian component to this. Of the four, and this is just purely by stories I've been able to get for the film. Out of the 4 stories, 3 of the crashes were by Indian drivers.
Shit.
So what I also want people to understand is it's very easy to blame the illegal immigrant who's driving the truck, right? They should be held accountable for their actions, yes. But they didn't end up there by themselves.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, we have guys who don't speak English, have never been to the United States. Many of them have never driven a truck. Yet they can come here and get a non-domicile CDL within a few weeks and get behind the wheel of a truck driving. That means that there's an entire system at hand to allow for this to happen. And what people don't talk about is those same guys are basically turned into indentured servants because they're
being exploited too. Yeah,
they're being exploited too. So a realistic scenario is a guy who lives in the northern part of India. He sells everything that he has. Maybe he sells his family's farm, right? And he's able to scrape together $20,000, $30,000. And that pays for him to fly to Central America or South America and come through the treacherous ways and getting brought in by the cartel. And so they have nothing now. They bet everything on coming to the United States. And so they make it here. And so maybe that $20,000 doesn't pay for everything. Now they're indebted. And they have to work. And so they run these guys to the bone. And truck drivers aren't supposed to drive more than 11 hours. The one crash, one of the stories in the film involves a mother and a daughter who were killed. They were both adults. So it was the grandmother and mother being killed, technically. And the grandchild was in the car.
Jesus. We're gonna.
No, he can finish. I want to hear.
Go ahead, Adam.
No.
In that crash, he ran, I believe, a stop sign.
Mm-hmm.
He had been driving for over 20 hours that day.
Jesus.
So this is a real thing. The crash with Delilah Coleman that you saw in that clip, I believe he had been driving for an extended period of time. Like when they're getting into these crashes, it's not like oops, and then they hit the brakes. As you saw in that clip, he's running straight through.
Yeah.
Because they're exhausted. These guys are physically exhausted and they're driving all the time, and they're driving 28 days out of a month, right?
Wow.
And also the other part is they're living in their trucks. So they're driving a lot because they have to pay off debt. They have to pay off so much debt that they have to drive a lot, and they don't live anywhere except within their trucks. And so we essentially have indentured servants who are riding around this country, who don't speak the language, who are in lots of debt, can't get ahead. Meanwhile, everyone else is making a shit ton of money off of them.
Off of them, yeah.
And the brokers, who, if you want to say who's going to be like the real bad guy in the film, the brokers, because the brokers are the reason why these shady trucking companies are able to get jobs. The brokers are playing as the middleman. So just a quick example, Amazon would be considered the shipper. Amazon sometimes ships its own stuff, but they have a ton of stuff that needs to be shipped. So what they'll do is find a broker. The broker is the middleman. The broker says, I'll take your load and I'll find someone to bring it. So then the broker has thousands, maybe, of trucking companies that will bid on that load. And so, of course, like any other bid, the lowest bid wins, right? The lower the bid, the more money the broker makes, so on and so forth. When you have the illegal labor aspect come in, well, of course they can pay less because they're not paying the driver that much because he's borderline a slave driving a truck. And so the brokers make the difference they're making bank. And C.H. Robinson, for example, TQL, they're some of the biggest brokers in the country. Prior to the pandemic to today, I believe they tripled their profits.
Tripled?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Insane. Evan, I know we have not to cut you off, Adam, because you don't want to give away the whole film.
Yeah, and Adam, we're gonna have you back on to talk about this when the films come out.
We're gonna have
Both
you
of them.
on.
You know,
right?
We'll do a whole thing. Yeah,
and I want to.
When does it come out, Adam? When does it come out?
September 29th.
Okay. Are you going to have another premiere?
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be on the 15th of September. So I don't know I know you're all the way in Cali. It's going to be in DC.
I'm coming back to New York area in September, but to be determined on the date.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
if I'm there, I'd like to go.
So
I won't be as busy this time. It should be easier.
because
Things will slow down. Yeah.
We gotta eat some fried chicken together.
Yes. KFC.
Before you go though.
Yeah.
Because I know you got a big your hits with who tonight?
Jesse Waters.
Jesse Waters.
Shout out to Jesse.
Shout out to Jesse Waters. That guy's a hero. I would actually love to have him on. I know he's a very, very busy guy, but he's definitely.
Tell Jesse to come on Apostate Radio tonight live.
Okay, I'll tell him. I'll tell him on Fox.
Babe.
Jesse, before I tell you anything, I need you to go on Apostate Radio.
Right. So
I would die if you did that.
So real quick, there's just something I gotta take care of. Because listen, we are proud of you. Okay, we are proud of you. We are all very much proud of you. To have hit the
working class beer,
working class,
the working class lady,
water,
and listen, Evan, we love you. Okay, we
love
are
you guys.
all very, very proud of you, and even my wife, who has expressed much interest in your book.
That's so cool.
Shot, babe. You look great today.
Shot. Hey, Kareem.
Hi.
Everybody.
Here you go, babe. You can throw that on if you want.
I love this. This is really cool. Yeah.
Listen. You are worth it. You deserve this. Okay. We are all very much proud of you, and to much success and many more book sales. Salute to you, Evan Barker, the Queen Apostate. We love you,
Salute.
girl.
Love you guys.
We love you, Evan. Congratulations.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you guys. Wait, I can't.
Congratulations.
My
You
CNN.
can't, you can't hear anything? Okay. All right, hold on. Now you can hear. Okay.
Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Yeah. It's crazy.
All right.
Looking forward to meeting you in person.
Yeah, me too. Next time, for sure. So excited.
So
right. Thank you guys.
No problem. Yo, enjoy your night with enjoy your spot with Jesse. Okay. And we're gonna keep this thing going.
I don't even know what I'm talking about yet. I need to look at the email. So like I have no idea. So but that's kind of how I roll now. I just, this is my third interview today. So it's just like you just kind of figure it out right before.
Hopefully this one was more of a break and a little bit of fun.
Adam knows what it's
for you.
like, right? Adam, when you're doing press tour, you just kind of figure it out hour by hour. But
you enjoy the rest of your evening. Give a shout to give our best to Jesse and everybody there at Fox News. Yes. And when you do come, I think we did talk about that a little bit. But when you do come, let me know and we'll figure out the logistics.
Okay, sounds good. Bye, you guys. I'm gonna go study.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Evan. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks,
Big honor.
love.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I fucking love you guys, bro. Like I really do. This is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about.
This is a big moment for the crew, man, for the gang.
Yeah,
the Apostate gang. I mean, between not just Evan's bestseller, Nothing Left, but Adam's put out 2 documentaries. I mean, Jesus Christ, in like a couple months. I can't wait till those are public. I can't wait. I'm gonna watch them again. I'm gonna watch the last one again. I'm gonna watch a new one at least once with the trucker. What's the trucker one called, Adam? Illegal Highways.
Yeah,
Illegal Highway. I can't wait to show them to like my family and friends and stuff, and especially liberals, family members, and be like, "Did you know about this?" Yeah. So, especially the mom's one for that one. Yeah. Did you know about that?
Right.
Bet you this didn't come. I bet you didn't show this on CNN and MSNBC.
So
any of these stories, yeah.
I especially want to give a shout to Deanne Miller. As I talk, I'd revealed a few. Well, you guys know this, but like, I was your grip for that trip to Colorado.
Pause.
And shut the fuck up.
You had a strong grip, Isaiah?
Oh my God. Do I look like Joshua Slocum? Do I look like...
Don't
really?
Bring his name up. You say his name 3 times, will pop out of...
Oh my
God.
Pop
out of my closet.
Oh my God. So I was out there for these interviews, and to listen to Deanne Miller and all of these other people who were recalling Mr. Miller's life and talking about what he meant to them, both as an employer, as a father figure for some. I got to tell you, there were times when I was like that, the part where Deanne's like crying and saying like she misses her husband so much. I almost lost it. And so, and like almost lost it.
Especially when it's a sudden death like that, a tragedy, but that could have been prevented. That's very tough for people to deal with. Like, didn't get to say goodbye, didn't expect it. Wasn't like an illness or something. It's very tragic and traumatic for people, man. And like these kind of things that happen that Adam's documenting, and so many other things, like tragedies, terrorist attacks, shootings, stuff like that. Just criminal, especially from like crime is a part of life, right? But then like when you have illegal immigrants coming in committing crimes, sometimes they're committing crimes multiple times, they're being re-released multiple times in these cities, and not just them, but just any criminals getting re-released 30 times, 50 times, 50 arrests, right? And then like until they finally lose it and kill somebody, stab somebody in the neck, rape somebody, whatever it is, and kill them. Like that's when you don't put violent people away, that's what happens. So I mean, my point of bringing all that up is like these bring like serious trauma and chaos and sadness and pain into people's lives. These kind of irresponsibility, things that could be prevented. Some things can't be prevented. Some things are just tragedies. Like you have citizens that might act out, but if you're letting people out 30 times, 50 times, if you're letting illegal immigrants who can't even drive a truck get licenses, if you're letting in so many millions of illegal immigrants, like you don't know where the hell they're from. They could be terrorists. They could be whatever. It could be spies. They could be drug cartel people, human traffickers, or just bad people from where they're from. It's like this can be prevented. This shit could be prevented. A lot of it, and that's the most tragic thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's so. I'm going to answer. I'm going to have a response for what you just said, but kind of going back a little bit. You were saying I want to show this to my liberal friends and stuff like that. I made this film.
Yeah.
And when people watch it, because I've shown it to select people in my life, and I asked them, "Is this a political film? Like, does it feel like it?" And they're like, "Oh, not really." And I did that purposefully. It's because I don't know the politics of all the people that I was interviewing. But one thing I do know is they're Americans who lost someone that shouldn't have been killed. Right?
Amen.
All their deaths were preventable. So to me, who they vote for is irrelevant in this context. What matters to me is that they lost a loved one, and that person should be alive today, because there is negligence somewhere. There's negligence on the government level. There's negligence within the trucking industry. Lots of negligence within the trucking industry,
or corruption. Yeah.
Yes, there's lots of corruption, but organized crime, and I wish I could emphasize. And I'm saying this as someone who's learning this stuff, and I could recognize how bad this is. Imagine if I was a 10-year trucking, seeing this constantly on a day-to-day basis. People have no idea how much organized crime is within the trucking industry. People like,
and it has been for many decades. The Teamsters, the mafia that we used to be,
it's not the same.
Probably,
it's not the same.
No,
it's
different.
This is different, and it's far worse. The best way of putting it is that it's not the entire industry, but the trucking industry is a large industry. We're talking about goods shipping all across the country, so it's a large industry.
Good way to move drugs too, I'm sure.
Many of things, but we'll say, let's say they're moving. They're moving
many such cases. Many such cases. Be right back. Keep talking. This is great.
Go ahead.
There are different, depending on what part of the country, there are different foreign entities who are dominating certain markets. And these are the ones who often have foreign links to organized criminal organizations abroad. But they're the ones who hire illegals because they're criminals and they don't care. But also because the trucking industry, when pressed, has no teeth. The most the FMCSA can do is shut you down, but it doesn't matter if you just start 6 more companies, right? Because you're a shady organization, it doesn't matter to you. They're exploiting the system. They're exploiting that trucking industry used to be of a high trust industry, right? It was a relationship between the shipper and the trucker, the trucking company, right? And so if you do bad business, I just won't do business with you anymore, right? So it's you're incentivized to do good business, make your shipments and things like that, so you can maintain your relationship with the shipper. The reason why brokers are so critical into this situation is because they've jumped in the middle. They've severed the relationship between the shipper and the trucking company, all for profit, right? Because they're promising profits for the shipper to save them money. And they're telling, let's say one man, one truck owner operator situations that will get you loads, right? Because it's just you as a guy, it's hard for you to get any sort of loads. Don't worry, the brokers are here.
Pause.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
That's it.
Don't bring up Josh. Don't bring up Josh. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Adam. I digress.
Serious topic, sir.
I'm sorry.
Time and a place.
It is hard to get loads, but go ahead. Yeah.
If there's not a time to say that it's hard to get loads, when can I say it's hard to get loads?
So a lot of big loads are being sent back and forth to the country. Go ahead. Where were we?
Lots of cargo.
A lot of escargot, man. Yeah.
Yes, big burly truckers are taking loads. That's exactly right.
Oh man. All right. Well, anyways, where were we?
Goodness gracious!
I forgot.
At those rest stops.
Oh,
get it in the rest
They're called
stops.
truck stops.
Trucks stops. That's right.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Adam. Shit.
I imagine you guys didn't cover that part of the trucking industry in this documentary.
We stayed away from that.
The lot lizard epidemic. No, we didn't talk about that.
Lot lizard. That's. Whoa. We're supposed to be talking about something serious. I'm sorry. All right, let's get back to it. So, what you say? It's not easy to get. It's not easy to get loads. Good. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, as an owner operator, you don't have the relationship between a shipper. So the brokers help those guys, right?
Yeah.
But they're also helping the guys, the trucking companies that hire illegals, right? Because they're just looking at who can bid on the cheapest load. So
yeah,
it's not going to use the word load anymore.
Shipment. Let's use shipments, maybe.
The stuff that we saw,
man, yeah,
we saw in Colorado. I like. My thing is this, and I kept talking about this the whole time, like with you, Adam. To me, it was just the betrayal. The utter betrayal by these local governments to let this shit happen on public roads, okay, with absolutely no recourse, no sense of, like almost like they didn't, like it was a bother to them to seek justice, to actually do their jobs on behalf of the person, on behalf of the families who lost this, who had just lost a husband, a father, a father figure, an uncle. Like, it was so messed up. And I could tell like there was still some kind of, like, this happened, 2 years ago when we went out there at the time of filming.
Yeah, 2024, I believe is when.
Yeah. So, but you could tell that they were still feeling the effects of it, because the Millers, like, they did everything. Like they I mean, I don't know how much of this you want to go into, but the Millers delivered water. They were, they did concert venues. They did all types of stuff. And then the one day this guy goes to just pick up something, life gone just like that. Deanne, Miss Deanne, we have not forgotten about you. If you ever see this, we care, we love you, and we care very much about you. You're a great you're a great human being and a great dog mom at that. And you will receive justice. You will receive justice. What was that? I mean, and well, since I do want to ask you. Mm-hmm. You came out on the other side of this, where these stories, these experiences, and obviously, like when the thing is released, we'll bring you back. Where do you think you've grown since doing all the interviews, all the research, like meeting these people and seeing, meeting these people, not just meeting these people, but meeting these people where they are? How do you feel you've come out from the other side of this?
Do you mean as far as like as a person or as a filmmaker? Like,
well, yeah. I mean, a little bit of both. Like at first, as a man, as a person, and second, as a filmmaker. This being chronologically your second documentary, but the first one that will be released publicly. Like, how does that, like, talk me through both?
As a person, it allowed for me to, I saw that all of my quality, like I spent most of my working life doing customer service oriented stuff, right? And doing this has really accentuated my empathy for people, and ignoring all the noise and just hearing their story and hearing what they're going through. Like they're you're not human if you don't cry at all in this film. I don't know.
Damn
I don't know. There's like not one moment where you don't shed a tear. But like during the interviews, I'm crying. They're crying. I'm crying.
So fun.
I'm watching a father who lost his son. You know, just like he's crying. I'm trying to keep it together, right? And I'm being patient. And so yeah, I think it really showed my how much empathy I have for people and what they're going through. As a filmmaker, I think two things stand out for me. I think the first thing is I know for sure now that I can. Well, I think it's more than two things, but I know for sure I can tell a story, and I think that's incredibly important. The film is a story, and it has a easy flow, and I know I can do it because I do it with my writings. I'm always telling stories with my writings, so I'm always with that in my head as far as what is the story of this film or this article, whatever it is. Second thing is trust. The reason why, and Isaiah, you saw, Deanne was very comfortable, right? She's a normal person. She's not a media person or anything like that. And when you put a camera in front of someone's face and say, talk to me, and they're a non-media person, they're not always comfortable. Like it's kind of a nerve-wracking thing. They might be nervous and self-conscious. But the big thing is that they don't look it. And I think all the people I was able to interview, they weren't nervous. And part of the reason why is because I had dialogue with all of them beforehand. I had a phone call with them. I listened to their story. I explained to them, listen, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm not trying to politicize your loved one, right? I want to give you the opportunity to tell the world how you feel and what you're going through. Like, I want them to understand that I'm not going to take your face and then just like Democrats bad or da da da, and just make it to this big political thing for these innocent people. Like I'm trying to show humanity. I'm trying to show what you're going through. So there's an element of trust that maybe I just didn't think about before, but that's how you get good interviews, especially when it comes to sensitive topics. You have to gain the person's trust to know that you're about to ask me a question that's very sensitive, and you're not going to use it against me, right? So everyone who sat down across from me, especially Deanne and I had multiple conversations before that. I had interviewed her before. I wrote that article. She understood where I was coming from. She knew my intentions were good, right? So she was comfortable. So when I asked her if I could do the documentary with her, she said, yes, of course, whatever you want to do. Because at that point, I gained her trust. And so I don't take any of that stuff lightly. But as a filmmaker, I understand now for sure how important trust is when it comes to a subject you're about to interview. That makes the difference. That makes them more comfortable. That makes them more willing to cry, tell you things that maybe they didn't think they would tell you, but they just feel comfortable enough to tell you that they can trust you with. So yeah, those are like two big things. And I would say the third thing was what people will take away from this is not your normal. Is it a political film? Technically, yes, but it's not a political film. Not in the way that most people are used to. Most people are used to, especially on the right, political films that are in your face, overt. Democrats bad, Democrats evil, Obama sucks. Like they're used to that stuff. They're used to just being completely overt, just hearing stuff that they already know and they agree with. And that's fine. If you're into that stuff, that's fine. But that's not what I'm trying to make. This film is deeply personal and it's visually beautiful. Every scene has a different view because of what we're trying to depict in the film. For the scenes of the people who have lost loved ones, it's a blue tint. It's dreary. Like not dreary like in scary, but dreary like it's sad. Like there's a loss. While also the lighting is on point. Right? I'm looking at all of these things. I'm looking at where the placement of objects are in the background, that there's depth. And often you just see someone sitting in front of a sitting next to a wall and a couch, just saying whatever. There's no sort of like artistic vision when it comes to it. But I think all that stuff matters as far as the emotion of the scene and how much you're willing to invest in it, that it's visually appealing, that you can take something from it. And so that's what I want people to take from this. And you can kind of see from the interview clips. The best scene visually for me was Sean Duffy's interview, which was my final interview for the film, because it took me months to get an interview with Sean Duffy. Thank God I was able to. But I didn't even really have to color correct it. Like it was just I nailed the exposure, I nailed the lighting, everything. All the the more you do, the more you get better at. Everything was like a culmination for this one-time interview. I got 30 minutes with this man, and I can't get this wrong. So here we go. And I came up with the best image out of the entire film, out of anything I've ever filmed thus far. So I think I was able to see that I can still grow and I can still learn and I can still make something that is different. So that's people will take away that the film actually looks like a film. Someone said like this looks like something you would see on Netflix. Yes. But everyone's shocked that I don't have a team of people around me. So I take that as a huge compliment.
You are,
as you should, man. As you should. It looks great.
Like I said, this is going to be
great. It's crazy that you're self-taught. I mean, you're pretty much self-taught with this stuff, right?
YouTube University, baby.
YouTube University, yeah. No, and that just goes to show you that. Yeah, no, for real. And that just goes to. I mean, that's very impressive, of course, but that just goes to show you that like there really isn't too many excuses for most people on Earth, like or at least in America, I should say. And anybody who has access to an internet, like you really could learn quite a bit. With a little bit of drive, a little bit of discipline, putting some time aside to learn things. I mean, you look like you've put together a professional documentary film.
Like you've been doing this for years.
Would have had, yeah, like you have a whole team, a whole production team. Like this is what you went to school for. Like you have the best equipment. That's what it looks like to me, just from the scenes I've seen. And it's like you just did that all on your own with, I'm sure a limited budget. You're not a rich person or anything like that. That should really inspire people to be like, well, what can you do? Like, if you really put the time in and the effort in, there's actually with AI as well. I mean, there's quite a bit you can do on your own now. But it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but you can do it. So people should be inspired by that as well. Yeah.
If I can throw one other thing in, you guys know about me doing the Breaking Bread series.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I started doing Breaking Bread. When was it? 2023.
Yeah.
I think it was 2023. And it was an idea that I had. I knew nothing about cameras. My pilot was in London. I think I did 4 interviews. Only one of them was usable. Like it was a mess because I didn't know what I was doing.
That's how you learn, though.
progressively, I got a little bit better, and then I would mess up here, and then I would figure out why I mess up, and then so on and so forth. There's so many people who are afraid to mess up. They just want everything to be perfect all the time. And I don't have that in me. Like, oh, I messed up. All right, how can I get better? Or I want it to look this way. Why doesn't it look this way? Oh, that's what I was doing. Okay, then I got to do this. Well, now I guess I got to understand the fundamentals. All right, so then, like, I just completely nerded out on different areas. Nerd out on exposure. Nerd out on lighting. Storytelling. When I was putting this together, the editing portion, I just started watching YouTube channels with professional editors who they edit shows that you've heard of. And there's one particular guy I have in mind, is a British guy, and he's telling you his thought process. And I'm like, this is free info. And this guy is going like video after video, talking about transitions, talking about tone, talking about all these different things. And I would be like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. And then I would get up and go to my computer and make a change, right? So it's just like the constant need to improve. Like the film that you see here, if I get another chance to make another film, like this isn't going to be the best one. The next one's going to be the better one, right? And then the one after that is going to get better, because you should always feel like you can improve. You can always improve. So that's, I think, yes, like I've been doing it for years, but I kind of have, because I've been messing up for a long time. Just people don't call it that, you know, but I've been turning on cameras and turning on audio equipment and running into problems. And then next time around, I figure out, how do I resolve that? Oh, that's why this looks this way. What else do I need? All right, now maybe it's time for me to upgrade my cameras, and then doing that. So like all these things, it's been a progression. This is the cameras I have here is my third set of cameras. And so just like progressing when I feel is need to progress to get something better forward. And probably for the next project, I'll get a different set of cameras because I want to try a slightly different look. So yeah, I think if you're passionate about something, you constantly want to get better and you want to do more.
Yeah, I mean, Adam, I'm sure you thought of this already. You actually, I think you actually did think of this, but you know, of course, if you have the time between making your own films, you know, I'm sure you could make documentaries for other people. Like, you know, like like just put your services out there. Be like, I could film this whole thing for you, edit it for you. You know, name your price, and because plenty of people would love to make documentaries, I'm sure, but they're not going to be able to. They feel like they're not going to be able to do what you did, or you know, maybe they just don't have the time or the discipline or whatever. But now you have, you know, you're a guy that could do it, that knows how to do it. It's like, hey, look at this. This is what I did here. I could do this for you, or probably better. So, yeah,
and that's
a good way to make especially since you're passionate about it, man. Make some money on the side from that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Isaiah mentioned that I did American's Mom chronologically first, and then did this.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why we're leading with the trucking film is because we want this to be like the splash, to open opportunities for something like what you said. And conversations I've already happened talking about, not a sequel, but another portion of the trucking industry, and conversations about funding that. So now I'll be entering the territory. Like I had to crowdfund for this one, but then now I'll be entering the territory of having a real budget and things of that nature, and
a little something to play with.
Ideas. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So
are you gonna hire some people, you think, for that, or like lighting guys or anything like that, sound guys or anything? Or are you gonna be doing it all on your own, you think, with a bigger budget?
My son.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get the boy into it. Put the boy to work.
He's interested.
That's good. That's good.
One thing is he works hard no matter what. He was bussing tables. This boy is the hardest working busser, right? So he works hard and he's interested, and I can teach him. So as long as I have those three, I'm good. And
hold on. Because I'm helping with the next one.
That's a quite opportunity.
That's quite an opportunity for him. Yeah. I'm helping too.
Nepotism over friendship.
Fuck you. That's good.
That's great. That's what opportunity for him. Be like to because if you could somehow translate your skills to him, and he has a passion for it and discipline, good work ethic, he could do the same shit, man. And that's great because what you did is very impressive. And now I think the world is your oyster as far as making documentaries and films and stuff like that. And I think you're gonna be successful with it. If he could do that too, that's a whole path for him, a whole lane that he can really explore with his dad and not have to spend too much money or anything. I have to go to film school and shit. He probably learn much more with you than he would there.
He probably would.
Yeah. Especially just doing it, just on the ground doing it. You don't learn. The best way to learn is by doing, man. No question about it. Always.
Exactly. Danny's a smart kid. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. I love him like he's like he's a nephew of mine. He's a very, very good kid, and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. But I'm telling you, because I have an idea for the next one. I'll share it with you once we're off air. Because there's something I want to.
Is it gonna be like the lot lizards variation, showing off that grip, something like that.
Gums.
Yeah.
No. Oh my God.
Just little change in genres here.
No. I actually want to. There's something I want to delve into, and it involves it is something involving transportation. But again, I want to talk to him about it. That is our show. I want to thank Evan Barker, the Queen Apostate, for joining us a little earlier. She will
buy her book, guys.
Buy her book.
Nothing left. Confessions of a Democratic Operative by Evan Barker.
Yes, buy this lady's book.
New York Times bestseller.
New York Times bestseller. Please make sure you follow her on X at Evan WCH, and just support this. Just support that young lady and everything she does.
People, just so they know, if you have Spotify, you can listen to the book too, and Adam's books. I think at least one of Adam's books is on there.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so you can listen to the books on audiobooks there as well. If you're more, I'm more of an audiobook guy, so. Are both your books on Spotify? I know Children We Left Behind is, I think, right?
Yeah, just the children.
Yeah, okay. So
don't
forget about Spotify.
Yeah, don't forget about Spotify. I believe her book is on Audible. I'll look. I'll check that.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is too. But this has been great. This has been a classic episode. Thank you to, of course, my brother Adam B. Coleman, director, filmmaker, documentarian. The Illegal Highways coming September 29th, exclusively to Rumble. I have included the link to the trailer in the chat. Put the link to the trailer in the chat. Please boost Adam's trailer. Share the trailer with your friends. This is going to be the documentary of the year. I'm boosting it every chance I get on my own page at Isaiah L. Carter. This is something you will not want to miss. Adam, thank you for joining us tonight on short notice. We're going to have you back so that we can talk more about this film and everything else. So, but that's our show. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Because of my work schedule, I don't know when we're going to have another show. I think we've pretty much done everything for the month of August. 4 shows in 2 weeks has been a bit of a whirlwind. But we thank you all for your patience. You are the best audience we could ever hope for. But with the episode 65, we'll have information on that and when that drops. So
we'll be back.
Yeah, we're going to be back. For Evan Barker, this is ILC, Nino Sabio. Adam Coleman. We love y'all. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Posting pics with the Bolsheviks, their enemies who vote for it. Open up the border, let the boats with the homeless in. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Congratulate Mr. Mandami. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the consequence. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the consequence. Cheers to the champagne socialists. No regret when they vote them in. So intense when they sold us in. Bodies on the floor, they don't notice them. None of you heard about the gulag. Stop for their food farms, barred in the gulags. The train left the station with a choo-choo. Nothing worse than the smile when they shoot you. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Never trust a commie. Let's congratulate Mr. Mamdani. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the cons. Never trust the communists. Never trust the promises. If you vote for it, you won't forget the cons.